Hey guys, it's Rashcroft with Political Simulators Unite. We have episode 3 here of the playthrough series that we're doing with China, Mao's Legacy. So let's go ahead and get started. I have the game loaded up. You guys probably can remember from the previous situation some of the things that have happened, so I'm not going to go back over that, but let's get into it. Alright, we have our first episode, or excuse me, our first event here. So new, 1956. Interesting news came from Hungary. A conservative communist who actively participated in the suppression of the Hungarian uprising in 1956 and was the Minister of the Interior from 1957 to 1961, and now who's Secretary of the Hungarian Socialist Workers' Party. I'm assuming that's what that is. He's always opposed Kadar's economic and political liberal reforms. Realizing that words couldn't stop him, he made a group of similar conservatives around himself and decided to organize an inter-party coup asking for support from the head of the KGB, Yuri Andropov. However, according to our data, Andropov simply betrayed his plans to Kadar, which the gentleman who we're going to be dealing with here doesn't know yet. Now we have a chance to help the gentleman with our agents and return Hungary to the path of building true socialism. Or you can always try to raise a new uprising in Hungary with the help of small arms supplies and intelligence coordination. This time truly communist and pro-Chinese. Then Hungary is guaranteed to be ours. We must act quickly. Okay, so here we go. We've got the two options here. Europe is far, Asia is far more important to us. Or we cannot help, but with joy we will hide this guy from the wrath of the revisionists. Okay, I'm not going to get too involved. Look, we know that I'd love to be able to play over here in Europe, but we've got to focus on our own people and our own... there's more pressing issues that we need to be looking at. Okay, so they're going to be getting rid of him. And alright, so he's done. Okay, so let's check in with the war situation. And I don't want things getting too out of control, so we're going to do weapons to both. We're going to look at our political situation here. Let's hound this guy. Took him down one. Let's check our economic situation. Industry still not growing very fast. Corruption's going down. We have no budget, so we can't make any major changes anyway. Standard of living, support of the people's good, standard of living, that's going up slightly. Another event. Burmese road to socialism. So after the military coup in 1962, the government in Burma passed over... Let's see... private sector, the cultivation of chauvinistic religions and natural prejudices, in fact, a departure to isolation as well as mass repressions of all opponents. Therefore, the various left-wing forces that had fallen into the party after the start of the open mass recruitment in 1971, all this text. Okay. So, unchanged. Okay, so the new text would kind of, okay, add references to Mao and us, and that's going to cost us 1. Restore it unchanged. Let's go unchanged. Okay. So the law regulating the use of the hymn was adopted. They broadcast it every day. Begin their work. The party is satisfied like the people. Awesome. And they most definitely are satisfied. Solid support. Now let's see. Here's the kicker. Let's see if that translates to support amongst the rank and file. Apparently it does. And by the way, we knocked down Mr. Xiaoping. Yeah, we've got too many of these guys hanging out up here. I don't like it. I know there's options to spy and everything, which, in all seriousness, I'm not that up on that yet. Really still scratching the surface here with this game. It's one of those games that, as I mentioned, I mean, there are a lot of different options, a lot of depth, a lot of different ways to approach this stuff. Okay, we're gonna pause it. Empty ministers, politics. Okay, so there is no minister in the South. So we are going to replace that or fill that position with someone who is moderate. Okay. So Wings in. He's my dude. And we're gonna hound him. It didn't seem to accomplish much. Doing a lot of hounding here. Oh, we knocked him down big time. That's good. Let's, at the same time, let's support this guy. We'll see what that does. Okay. April 6th. Relations with the USA are just collapsing. We're going to be dealing with a diplomatic crisis here in a moment. April Revolution, Afghanistan. Okay, so here's the deal. We're concerned, our party is concerned about the expansion of Soviet influence in the region. This is the left opposition party, DPPA. They arrested yeah, this one is a little complicated, I have to admit. Okay, so I'm just going to start at the beginning here. On April 27th in Afghanistan, as a result of the instability of power, impoverishment, and discontent of the people by the arrest of the leaders. So, okay, the leaders were arrested. A military coup took place, which was planned by them. The general public welcomed the revolution, having come to power. They are the PDPA. They're headed by this gentleman here. Began the construction of socialism and an orientation toward the USSR. All right, so here's the deal. This is, I believe, the event. That's a shame. I'm going to just kind of discuss it here as we get over on the other side of this screen here. There was a split in the socialist camp in Afghanistan. There were two different wings. This is after... This is, I think, in part due to Soviet influence. Whoa, our budget's way up. Hang tight. Well, if you guys want to look at the historical situation... Shoot. Thing kept running. Alright. So, if you guys want to look at the historical situation, Wikipedia, that's my suggestion. It's complicated stuff. It seems as though, essentially, it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, so help me out if I am, in the comments, of course. I believe that due to the Soviet influence in Afghanistan, The socialism came to the forefront as a political force in Afghanistan, and essentially there was a split in the socialist camp, and it was almost more of a personality split as opposed to an ideological split, is my understanding. And eventually, one of the guys was killed, one of the leaders, and so because one of the guys had to go into exile. Anyways, I don't want to turn this into a history lesson because, frankly, I'm not qualified to give that history lesson. Number one. Number two, we're here playing a game. So, all right, the budget, that's up really high, which is awesome. So much so, well, you know what? Before I get crazy, let's do this. All right, so we've got 66% moderates here, and then the largest opposition grouping, aside from moderates, is conservatives. So it looks like things are pretty well under control. I'm going to go to birdcage. I still can do that because the moderates lead. So what we've done, that cost 5. Standard of living, that took a hit, I'm assuming. But I do believe long term it'll lead us to greater economic growth moving forward. Although we're going to have some issues, and I probably should have waited just a little bit, but we're going to have to deal with that. Okay, so Beijing Spring, what I was referring to was the fact that the USA relations are down to 3.7, which means we've got about a week, or excuse me, 2 weeks, one turn. All right, so let's get into the event. From the middle of this year, the stormy activity of students and intellectuals began throughout the country, especially in Beijing, which hands big character poster wall newspapers with large hieroglyphs used for propaganda and protest in the streets, and publishes self-made magazines. Big character poster and the journals oppose the CPC's conservatism, criticize the Cultural Revolution, call for economic and political liberalization, express support for the reformers in the CPC, which... Sorry, I'm not familiar with that term. I probably should be, but sadly I'm not. Okay, so here's the meat of the issue. The reformers themselves published in their journals critique of the policies, claiming it does not agree with Marxism and the economy should prevail over ideology, and that pragmatism is the only criterion for revealing the truth, describing the practical advantages of market reforms. Okay, so be capitalist or you're wrong, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so the 3 options here: let the MSS, our KGB again, and the Human Resources Officer and the KGB address these issues, join the controversy with the reformers, and make your own denials. Our media will deal with this cheap propaganda. Yeah, let's do that one. All right, in the old manner, the MSS, I'm assuming, and the police began to tear big character posters and search for underground... Forget it. I'm not even going to try. And the CPC, again, passed a wave of purges from reformers, which, however, did not go so smoothly due to the dominance of the reformers themselves in many CPC structures. The people and reformers are unhappy, but the wave of protests has stopped. Hopefully now the discontented will not move to more radical actions. All right, so we're trying to nip it in the bud there. Man, our support of the party is way down, and it's just going to get worse here, guys. Things are coming to a head very soon. Yeah, we're going to hang on to as much money as we can because I'm going to try to buy off the USA. Here's our event. Here we go. Diplomatic crisis down to 0. All right, so we're going to organize it at our expense. I'm not going to give in yet, guys. We are going to... This is a Charlton Heston cold dead hand moment. All right, so I hope most of you get that reference. Wow. Look at Cambodia. Things are no good. All right, so let's get this situated. We need to... I believe, yeah, it's better to go into debt than it is to take money out of the gold reserve. So we're losing some support here from the party. I believe liberalization was increasing as I looked over. But we've got the USA kind of backed off from coming in and destroying us. Let's look at our political situation. Mr. Xiaoping, man, everywhere. The dude does not go away. And now we have a conspiracy against us. So, here's the deal. We're going to target all his guys, or I shouldn't say all his guys, but yeah, reformists. I mean, these are people who see things the way he does. I'm gonna try to knock a few of these guys down a peg or two. Let's keep going, and I'm pretty confident here with the support of the people that if there is a crazy thing, if the conspirators attempt to make a move, I could, go to the people and say, hey, I could appeal to the people for support, and they would put it down. But it's no question here at this point, the reformists and liberals are becoming somewhat more, I don't want to say ascendant, but they're definitely making some moves here. Okay, economy's up to 5. Let's go to doctrines. Civil rights, fighting dissent. I'm wondering if this might kind of take some of the wind out of their sails. I wonder if that might... still no loyalty whatsoever. You know what I did? That was a really bad mistake, I think, because I know the left radicals will not appreciate that. Although it did knock me down to conservative on the international reputation. Here we go. So here's the result of the conspiracy. We got to deal with this. We got the support of the people. I'm going to appeal to the people. Now, support of the party's down under there. So let's watch what happens, guys. You can see how this impacts things. I lost 20 on support of the people. Standard of living looks like it took a hit. Support of the party only went up just a minor amount. The conspirators... Okay, so long story short here, I appealed to the people, and the conspirators backed off. So in practical terms, like I mentioned, you saw the impacts of choosing that option there. Let's see if the conspiracy... Okay, so the conspiracy is gone. Let's go to the event. Explosion of the CMEA. So for a long time, Vietnam tried to balance between us and the USSR because despite our differences with the Soviets, our volunteers fought together in the Indo-Chinese wars on the side of Socialist Vietnam. But already with the end of the war and unification, Vietnam gradually became more and more pro-Soviet. Alright, so we don't like the idea of Vietnam moving more closer to... So it's essentially like, well, wait a minute, communism doesn't exist in these areas of the country. I just find this to be hilarious. But, I mean, it also makes, from a political perspective, I think it makes perfect sense. You're kind of getting, just think about it, as a leader in communist China, here you are getting your foreign investment, and you're able to take advantage of that, but you're limiting it to very select areas. So you're limiting the social impact that has, which, you know, I think we see this now in China even today. The big question in China is, you know, are they going to be able to deal with, have they let the genie out of the bottle, as they say? You know, has Pandora's box been opened? Well, that's a stupid analogy, but the point is, you know, it's like once capitalism gets entrenched in an area, it's very, very hard to remove it. So, all right, I'll quit talking about my politics. Not my politics, but I'll quit my. Yeah, I'll try to focus here on the game, guys. I apologize. So, if you guys want to talk politics, by the way, go over to the Discord server. It's just Political Simulators Unite. I've got the link on my curator page for Steam, and it's like plastered everywhere. I'll put a link down to it here as well on the video. Okay, so agricultural reform. This is our next event during the Great Leap. Everything was organized into communes. Organized system of collective farms. All right, so here's our options. And guys, I'm going to try to do that as much as I can. I know I say this every video, but I just feel like I'm reading to you guys way too much. But then again, it's kind of one of the challenges that comes with, you know, streaming, or excuse me, not streaming, but doing a video on a strategy game like this. Yeah, so, okay. Let it be as it is under, so basically the current system is kind of command and control economy in regards to agriculture. Introduce the family contract, introduce private farming or collective farms, a relic of the plan. Okay, so I'm going to liberalize things a little bit. I don't want to go to full-blown private farming. Keep it within the family. All right, it was decided to dissolve the communes and distribute the land between independent family farms who would be obliged to sell the specified harvest to the state at fixed prices. And this spurred the growth of our economy, contributing to an increase in food supplies, and people liked it. That's the most important thing, isn't it? All right, support of the party. It's like collapsing on me here. I'm not too happy with this. Here's the deal. I think I'm going to have to make the change and go to reformers. And here's the big question, you know, when do I make the pivot from moderate to reform? Because as you can see here, I've got 71% of the members of the party are moderate. And I think the direction I'm going, which is listed here as pragmatic yet harsh, the direction I'm going here, I've got to make the change over to reformers. But then again, this is just my own. Whoa. This is my own strategy here, guys. You know, I'm just kind of playing around with it and see where it goes. Let's throw some money into agriculture, keep that going. We've got standard of living up. That's good. Liberalization's good. Support of the people. Now, I'm not going to give any more money to these guys. I'm not going to fund any more envelopes. They got enough envelopes, as far as I'm concerned. Corruption's increasing. Our wars, shoot. Weapons, specialists, humanitarian aid, and we're going to throw that in the gold reserve. Okay, let's keep going. Here we go. Budget's solid. Got an event. Teach Vietnam a lesson. Okay, so we helped them out. They're moving closer to the Soviet Union. So the armies come forward, and they said, it is time to declare war on Vietnam. Force their leadership. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we're going to do it. You know what? No. We're going to hold a meeting. That's what we'll do. All right. We had to abandon claims to some Vietnamese lands, but managed to end the oppression of the Vietnamese Chinese with the right to immigrate them to China. Okay, so even though they're still looking to the USSR, our relations have improved. Prospects for cooperation have increased. And the Soviet Union is paying attention. Oh, they're happy. Shoot, it's up to 120. Alright, let's see what's up here. Still increasing. Okay, so as you guys probably know already, international reputation, this determines so much of what can be accessed by the player on this screen. And in the trading, getting this up is so important because there's certain minimums required. Okay, so left secular Democrats and Muslim organizations of varying degrees of radicalism oppose the Shah's authority and were indeed organizing the strikes. Revolution's over, and they managed to achieve their goal. So the Shah's gone, Khomeini comes in, Islamic Republic, and now they're repressing all those guys. And I want to get a look at power of the leftists. Very sizable. I'm just throwing money and support these guys' way at this point. Wow. That went down significantly. Support of the party, shoot. Hang on. That's continuing to go down. Okay, so hopefully I can write this out. Has to be a conspiracy at any moment here. These guys are going to be kicking my butt to the curb, as they say. Welfare, support of the people. That's solid, though. Propaganda, don't need it. Services, don't need it. Let's go to doctor and see what we can do. Okay, moderates were at 71, I believe. Now they're down to 62. Reformers are increasing. This could be a reason why the support of the party is so bad, and it might be time to take a more radical, well, not radical, but, you know, maybe a little more, where are we at? Oh, people's democracy. You know, I'm not going to mess with that. Wow, that takes a huge amount. 15, 20, 25. I should have probably made some moves on that a long time ago. Oh, here we go. Boom. Relations with the USA collapsing. Event, diplomatic crisis. Alright guys, I'm going to give in and see what happens. So, we abandoned some foreign policy claims, reduced the support of loyal opposition in our other countries, and we reduced the degree of interventionism of Chinese politics. And the USA is happy. Although I don't see a direct change. Conspiracy. Deng Xiaoping. Shoot. Alright, let's see. Okay, we're gonna make some moves here, trying to put in some more loyalists. Can't do that with him yet. I'm doing this as you can see, corruption has increased. Standard of living's solid. International reputation still at 92. And good old diplomatic crisis. We're gonna pay for it. Go into debt for it. And move forward. Okay, I want to take a look here at the view, Taiwan, influence. One of the things that I did like about the previous game that Kremlin Games put out, Nostalgia, was the fact that you could see under trade, you could see the exact, I believe it was under the trade screen. You guys can correct me on that. But you could see exactly your the list of trade partners you had. So I know it's listed on the map. I just get the sense that I'd like to see it. You know, okay, so they're in my conspiracy. There we go. And we're gonna go to the people again. Okay, so good there. Dodged a bullet, literally. .6. Okay, research is done. Alright, so I'm going to do that again. Well, not again, but I'm going to do the industry again. Okay, more stuff in Afghanistan. Amin, the USSR, they wanted to get rid of him. So the Soviets buddy up with the PDPA. Chance to seize the initiative in Afghanistan. If it is possible to prevent the displacement of Amin. Now remember, we don't even have a choice. Now, just to be clear, I'm not complaining about the lack of a choice, because I totally get that one of the concepts of the game is that, you know, there's certain things, once you've gone down a certain, you know, route, you can't just flip a switch and go the other way. So, you know, I understand for whatever reason certain choices are taken away from you. I get that. That makes perfect sense. It just is kind of frustrating. Entry, okay. So Soviets are, they're taking in, they're cementing their influence in Afghanistan. Laos, they're already a close partner. corruption going down. Good. Industry, totally stagnant. All right. And, oh yeah, sorry. Let's take a look under doctrines. Okay, so now we're up to 40% reformers, 40% moderates, and I'm now convinced I am hammering the nail in my own coffin here. Yeah, I think I'm taking more of this approach, or frankly, when I'm pointing to moderate, or even a conservative approach, and I'm supporting reformers. Probably not a good idea, but again, I was thinking, I was being a little more moderate than I probably was. Yeah, I mean, look, I still got support of the left radicals, but then again, who are they going to support? I mean, at this point, Mao's gone, and all the influential left radicals are pretty well gone, for the most part. And you just base it off of this alone, my goodness. I mean, they make up 6% of the party. So, yeah. I guess, again, I'm the only game in town for them. So, all right, guys. Well, look, I think I'm going to stop it here. It's January 8th, 1980. And not much change, not too many changes, frankly. We've made a few. Well, I take that back. We've made a couple changes here. We went to birdcage, and then we did go to federation as opposed to just a unitary state. Industry is totally stagnant, although it claims to be increasing. I'm not seeing this. It may do an increase over 2 weeks. Then again, it may come back down. I'm not sure. But we're doing our best to get through the industry research here to try to advance that as quick as we can. But again, we're still hanging on for our proxy people here, the communists in Thailand and the Cambodians. So we've had a number of diplomatic crises. Basically, we just shelled out the money for. Although in one case, we just had to, roll the dice and said, hey, we're going to liberalize ourselves. So anyways, all right, guys, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll have the next episode probably up next week. But thanks for watching, and look forward to talking to you guys in the future.